Yes, I'm greasy, guys, because I have dandruff. What's up, peeps? Welcome back to more daily CS news. We got some big stuff coming from the Esports World Cup, $1 million in the line, and G2, a brand new lineup. Some other changes coming into this as well, but a crazy event, guys, and some crazy interviews coming first and foremost from G2 Snax, their newest member, alongside Malbs. A lot of expectations, but also question marks around this G2 roster after their first win of the event over the Mongols, so a pretty good showcase to actually beat them. And also a very fun team to watch on both sides. It was Snax with one of the best interviews we have seen in a while, because first and foremost, he shouts out his new coach TAZ and says he has a nice Mercedes.
How is it being back with TAZ as well, kind of getting the VP blood back?
It's really nice. I always love the guy because I love the guy because he had a really nice Mercedes. He always taking me on the trips outside, I really like it. I mean, they never change. I'm always coming to Warsaw to go with the guys for some barbecue. We love to eat together. We love to play together,
And if you somehow don't know the background context around that, this stretches back to 2017 Virtus Pro, the old Virtus Plow lineup, which notoriously, after winning a LAN, it was the owner of Virtus Pro giving TAZ a brand new Mercedes. Ever since then, they shortly afterwards had a fallout of the roster. The roster did not see too much success after that, and a lot of players afterwards have contributed the lack of success and the fallout to him getting that car. So it's nice to see now 7+ years later, the full circle moment where a couple of these guys are teammates yet again. But I want you guys to hear the rest of the interview, because this guy, Snax, like I said before when they first announced him, he's a personality. And it just, I don't know if they can win, but they can certainly do this right, and they make you want to watch.
I'm curious, outside of this game, when did G2 actually first approach you to join the team?
First time it was 98 in Kansas. Several years ago, I'm playing that much, so no, I think maybe 2022 after ENS, it was the first time we had small talk, and I think when I was in Japan for my vacation with my wife, I got some messages.
Vibe check within G2, obviously just your first official. How does it feel? How vocal are you in terms of calling? How much are you relying on the other guys as well?
I was trying my best, obviously, in calling. I have a lot of experienced players right now, so also they calling some stuff, so I'm pretty okay. I felt like I had a little bit more space on official than on practice. On practice, my guys are running everywhere, killing people. Here, a little bit different, obviously, it's official. But I would say as a first match, with not that much of the days of practice, I would say a win is a win. I'm happy that we win. We throw some runs versus Glocks versus Deagles. It wasn't a clean win, obviously, but I think let's say on T side, for example, on Inferno, we could have such more runs. I think first gun round, I think it was a good call to go B. Second round, we went 4 versus 2 on A, and we also didn't win. And with the start 5-0 or something, it's so much easier to start like this. Obviously, we lost 2 runs in a row at the start of the gun runs, and it was a little bit harder. But yeah, I knew that also our city is pretty solid, so just keep the head cool and go till the end.
I mean, speaking of Inferno, obviously it's not a map that you played very often back in Gamer Legion. Previously to that, there's a lot of experience on the side of Inferno for you at the very least. How different is the way that G2 approach Inferno from maybe some of the other teams that you've played on in the past?
I mean, my experience with Inferno is don't play Inferno. Inferno equals lose. Bialif, the famous tag ever on the Steam group. I mean, I didn't like Inferno that much, but I felt like in Poland we didn't knew exactly. Also me, I'm not saying the guys, and I'm the Omega, and I knew everything. Obviously, I'm learning from the guys about Inferno, but don't worry, Vertigo is coming as well, guys.
Don't like to hear that at all. Final question. Obviously, you're one of the teams that are coming into EWC with a couple of roster changes. So where does that set your expectations with, the goals at this event? How do you want to finish it?
I want to finish being in Korean barbecue. This is what you're asking, no?
Maybe placement, give me 1 through 15. Where do you want to end?
A good restaurant.
I guess we should get some restaurant recommendations for Snax here in Ria. Thank you so much for your time, and best of luck in your games going forward.
Thank you. I mean, top 1. Yeah.
So yeah, some Inferno comments out there as well, but some great stuff coming from Snax. We'll revisit G2 in the news because it's been a crazy last couple of days, including which of why CS is better than Valorant. If you guys don't cover the Valorant or actually, see the Valorant scene too much, trust me, this does have relevance. It was actually NAF talking with Ethan. Ethan is a former Counter-Strike pro, now a Valorant pro, most recently played for NRG, and unfortunately NRG, when it comes to VCT Americas, have not qualified for any further. That's just how the way of the road goes in Valorant. You can play only a handful or a couple handfuls of times throughout the year, and his year is already wrapped in July, which prompted a response from NAF going, yo, what the heck is going on over there? We are just halfway through this year, and yes, the offseason for Ethan and NRG Valorant will probably be a handful of months until next competitive season, which is insane. I talked about this a couple of videos back. The difference between the CS schedule and the Valorant schedule is literally polar opposites. You could argue CS almost has too many events, and then in Valorant, a lot of people argue you just don't get to see a lot of time to see a roster gel together, and if you don't win, you're pretty much screwed, and yeah, you won't be playing too much or at too many events. So it's very much cutthroat. That was NAF's response to Ethan on the Valorant scheduling, and that's why CS is greater than. What do you guys think about that? And some huge other news coming from the Esports World Cup, guys, breaking as of me recording, that being G2 somehow, some way have upset your #1 seed, and for a lot of people out there, your favorites for the World Cup and the $1 million in the line, Team Spirit, they fall yet again to G2. G2 seemingly having this roster's number. All right, we stretch back to Dallas with a stand-in and Stu, and now we have G2 with a brand new roster with Snax and Malbs, and this is their debut at a big LAN event, and they take down Spirit again. Do they have their number?
Team Spirit are toppling, and they will soon be eliminated from the World Cup here in Riyadh. G2, 4 versus 2. Snax misses the timing by just a little bit on Magix. But 35 seconds remain in the round. There must be a maneuver forward from Chopper to try and collect that bomb, and as soon as he does, he will walk into the path of Monacy, and he will charge right through that path. Hunter's still in donut though, and this is a powerful spot. Hunter makes the most of it, and it's now just Chopper, the final player of Spirit, in their final moments. We were hoping to come into a new season and be able to get the job done and get the job going again, but it has not worked out. G2 with a new roster have come into the quarterfinals and taken out Team Spirit.
And not to mention, this was also a series where I would say Monacy was not having a typical Monacy showcase. And this was not IEM Dallas Monacy. He was kind of just hanging in there. Obviously, he's still a great player, but he was not having his typical outstanding performance to get this done, which should speak numbers. And that is absolutely crazy. With that win, G2 going to the semifinals, and they spoke to TAZ post-game interview to talk about it a little bit.
What were you thinking as you came into this matchup?
I mean, I knew what we can do. Like, we had actually very good results after not much practice. I mean, when you have such skillful guys, it's just, there's always a chance. There's always a chance.
I saw you backstage and I said to you, wow, what do you feel about this? And you gave me that smile.
I mean, I enjoy this. We have a really good chemistry in the team. Everyone is enjoying. And I think on Nuke, the guys forgot about it for a second, right? And on Ancient, there were, again, smiles and just pure enjoyment of the game. And that's how we win.
What did you say then? Because it almost looked like you were going to do it in 2 maps. You were there for a second. You threw away a bit of a lead. What were you saying?
Oh, there were some words. There were some words. But mainly, like, that you always fail. You always whiff. There will always be rounds that you just throw away and just need to forget about it and keep on going, because these guys are amazing and they just need to believe in themselves.
But G2 was not the only one with an upset. I believe this half score was 11-5, and yes, there were a lot of best of ones in this format. I would say the World Cup format is not something I personally will be taking too much weight in from these results, because day one was all best of ones, and then if you went to the resurrection stage, it was again best of ones for elimination, and that is where complexity fell to M80 after an 11-5 lead being blown. They should not have lost this at all.
Here, and it's a freebie. Will not be ready for Elige. Elige will get a freebie back. Into the back.
Still questions. The map's just opened up significantly. Oh, Elige looking to close it. Do we go again?
Sin and Reg to solve this puzzle together. Smoke available to obscure Alicia's angle, but ahead of it, ooh, doesn't choose to take the engagement. Utility now dropped. Good damage onto Alicia with their HE. They're making best use of their nades. Now it's time to fight. The bullets connect from Sin. Oh dear! It all falls to Floppy, or Complexity, are down and out at the hands of M80. Commits to the spray. Can he take them both? No, they can't! And M80 sending Complexity home, day 2 of EWC.
Overtime's insane. I think we were a little nervous in the first 8 rounds. Like, we weren't playing like ourselves. Like, I think Anubis is really good for us. I think it's a really comfort pick for us right now. Honestly, we played that really well. I think we were just nervous. Nerves was bad, but as we got into it, honestly, energy started to come up. It was good.
Because at one point, it wasn't looking good. You were what, 6-1 down, 7-1 down. It wasn't the greatest first half.
It wasn't. It was not going great. It wasn't going how we expected. We weren't playing like ourselves. The call, we were calling stuff that we've never even called before in a game, and we just had to get in that rhythm and just make it seem like we knew we were supposed to be here. We were supposed to beat them.
So when you get to the point, and you've almost done it in regulation time, and it then goes to overtime, what gets said within the team? Because that's a moment that you know you could have won it.
Honestly, we didn't even talk about it. It wasn't even like that. We were down 7-1. Overtime is a great thing because we had all the momentum. They won 1 round coming back. It's fine. We knew we had the momentum. We knew we had to keep going.
But then it got so close to finishing it. What was it, a couple of points of health left?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Got to keep going.
Well, let's just talk about you for a second. You've been on this team for, 9, 10 days. This is your international debut in a tournament. Just a word about yourself and playing here.
Honestly, it's great. I mean, I've loved it here so far. The tournament's been so great. A little shaky there first game against Vitality, but honestly, I think we're starting to come together really well as a team early on.
Does it help playing through a loser's bracket, a redemption stage? Does it help maybe to make you sharper, to get the team maybe more together?
I think it's possible, but honestly, playing against Vitality was really rough because that was my first game. That was a very big trial by fire, and it just did not go so great. There's a lot of mistakes, but I think there we cleaned it up a decent amount. There's still things to work on, but I think we actually played that not terribly.
But that's the way of the road. And this World Cup format, for a lot of the esports, League of Legends being another one, you went in, and if you lost a series, you went home. It is very cutthroat. I would say it's not the best format for esports events, but you also have to keep in mind they are doing a lot of esports across a 2-month span. And so they get you in and they get you out, and there's still a lot of money on the line. So it's a high pressure situation, which I would say if you're a big fan of CS and you want to see your favorite team play a long time, it's not your favorite format. But if you like the high pressure, you gotta win situations, it does put a lot more pressure on these situations and these games. So there's also, you give and you take. I do like that part, and you find out results very quick. Complexity will not be moving on. M80 over them as the Esports World Cup does continue. G2 shocking some people. Can they take the entire thing? I mean, hey, they would not have been my pick, and they were not my pick at Dallas, so you never know. And North America doing some North American things, but we'll be back. I'm not even worried about it. What do you guys think? Till next time, please take care of yourselves. We are at EVO all weekend long. It's going to be so sick, and then we'll be posting a wrap-up for the Esports World Cup and how this goes down. And other CS news, expect that Sunday if I can make it home in time. Till then, take care, drink up. We'll see you soon.